Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm a former store owner / Dracula? Son of a bitch! I've never messed up saying the intro before, and just here we go. I just fucked it up. I'm a former store owner / Dracula cosplayer that leaves all his dangerous merchandise in an unlocked basement. Dylan.
Oh, look at you. And I'm your annoying, cookie-stealing shitheel of a mutt, Travis. Let's go Hogs. Get them. Go Hogs.
Go Hogs. I know. I feel like you were real excited to see a child's sports team called the Hogs. For some reason.
It was kind of fun.
They were the best part of the entire book, which is number 36 in the series, The Haunted Mask 2, which was released in October of 1995, which is appropriate because it's a Halloween-themed book as well.
Hey, you know what else was released in October of 1995?
Was it you?
O.J. Simpson.
Oh, wow!
He was acquitted.
That's a segue. That's an
acquitted.
Awful segue.
And you said just the juice was loose there in October of 1995.
Yeah, wow.
Along with The Haunted Mask 2.
Wow. Do you think those two events were connected?
Probably. He probably started out as the Haunted Glove, but when it didn't fit.
That's when it killed the ghost. Like, the kids were, he tried to put on the glove and the ghost got banished. And that's how the book ends.
That's
really
basically how the book ends. Yeah, I can tell you have some ambivalence about this here story. We'll see.
Yeah, ambivalence, I feel like would be a good word for it. We'll get into it. But
okay.
Yeah. This was not one I read as a kid. I will say, when I was about to get into this and I was reading it, and the first time they mentioned Carly Beth, I really have to say, I feel like the original Haunted Mask, the first in this now 2-pack of series of the Haunted Masks 1 and 2, the original one is maybe in my top 5 Goosebump books. I don't know where it's going to still be at the end of this process, but I really have a solid love of that first book. And I think partly because that was one I've read a bunch of times as a kid, and then as an adult, I was like, oh, thank God. It's as good as I remember it.
Yeah, this one had a big shoe to fill, if you will. It filled it a little bit. But before we get to there, we do have an email from a listener. Stephen from Scotland. Dylan, should we take turns? It's very big. I don't know what
it is.
How do you want to?
You know what I was thinking.
Okay.
I feel like here's how we can break it up. I'm going to break it up here. See, watch this. This will be one of us.
Oh, that's a different
when they're a child, and then someone can be Scholastic here.
How clever!
Like that. How about that?
That's wonderful.
So
who's
someone? Someone will be young Steve, and one will be Scholastic, and the other person will read the framing around that.
Okay.
How about I'd be young child Steve and Scholastic, and you be adult Steve writing to us. So everything in purple is yours, everything in an off red is mine.
Very good. Good thing I'm not colorblind. Okay. This is from Stephen from Scotland. Stephen, thank you for reaching out. Stephen says, "Hi guys, I'm a 40-year-old guy from the UK who in a desperate attempt to stay young has started revisiting some of the media he used to love as a kid, including Goosebumps books. My first ever book was My Hairiest Adventure, not the best book, and I do maintain the UK cover for that one is better than the American original."
I'm going to interject here and say I did relook at both of those covers in anticipation of this email being read, and I have to say that Stephen is incorrect. The UK cover is abominable in this particular event. But there were like 2 instances where the UK cover could have been considered better. This is not one of them.
Yes, that's official from We Got Goosebumps. But, nostalgia is strong, Stephen. Believe what you want to believe. Now, the UK covers do hold a lot of nostalgia for me, but I appreciate most of them are objectively terrible regardless. But they're terrible, but they're fun.
I also saw on the internet recently on the Goosebumps subreddit, which every 6 months or so I poke my nose into and then run away because I don't understand Reddit. But there was a big discussion about the UK covers, and it was a bunch of people that had a bunch of mistaken opinions about the UK covers, but they also said that they're textured, so they're bumpy. Oh. They are a textured cover, so that might be part of the appeal of that tapioca covering.
That would help, I think. Somehow. Like, I've never wanted to touch those books, but now I kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen goes on. Anyway, I came across your podcast and have listened to a few episodes now. Love it, by the way. Never fails to make me laugh, and I wanted to share a story with you. Here goes. By the way, Stephen, I don't know which episode you listened to, but hopefully you stick through long enough to hear your own email. It's always my goal for our listeners. Stick around till you hear your own email. All right. When I was around 11... I was such a Goosebumps fanboy that I actually wrote a letter to Scholastic UK, which read something like as follows.
Dear Scholastic, Mr. Stein, I'm the biggest fan of Goosebumps ever. I've read every single book to date, some of them up to and including 4 times. I'll level with you. I'm a real good writer, and I'm prepared to write a series of books called Goosebumps 2. I'll agree to write a minimum of 25 books, and I already have lots of ideas. From the top of my head, just spitballing here, a book about a witch. Thank you.
That does make me laugh. Stephen, you sounded adorable. They actually wrote back to me. About 2 weeks later, I got a package back from them with a letter. The letter said,
"That's such a fantastic idea, which we will be using, but unfortunately we're not looking for any new authors at the moment. But don't lose that spark. Keep writing, and maybe one day we'll be looking for new authors. We understand this may be disappointing, so we have included some merchandise to make up for it. And you are the first reader in the world to receive these, as they are brand new items."
Whoa! There you go. Enclosed were a few stickers, some postcards, and a gigantic poster of the UK cover slime with a rotting hand coming out of it holding a Goosebumps book with the word Goosebumps in big letters at the top. I was absolutely ecstatic. I really wish I still had it. Anyway, I hope that made you laugh. Keep up the great podcast work. Stephen from Scotland. Stephen, thank you so much for reaching out. And that is awesome. I do like that they left the window open. They were like, one day we might, old R.L. Stein might kick the bucket and we might need to put in a substitute. So keep dreaming, kid. Could be you.
I was never ballsy enough as a kid to be like, I bet my ideas would be good enough for the big leagues. So
yeah.
My hat's off to you, Stephen.
Book
maybe
about
we should
a witch.
get together with Stephen as part of our Goosebumps The Adult Years series. We've had so many great ideas for Goosebumps series. There's the one where it's like from the adult perspective.
Yeah.
And then there's also the ones that's like the kids later, after they've grown up.
I like that.
I feel like those are two series.
I feel like the adult's perspective could just be a scarier book.
Right?
Like your kids are just maniacal.
We'd also have to pick ones where the parents are heavily involved. And that would be hard to do. But like One Day at Horrorland we could do, because the parents are involved in that. Then we could also do the second Slappy book, because the parents are actually part of the plan to like bring down Slappy. So we could Shocker on Shock Street is an entirely different book that's really kind of fucked up. Which is about this guy making robot children. Oh my god! But anyway, yeah, I feel like the My Harriest Adventure, you could 100% do from the perspective of the parents, and that would be an entirely different book and probably a better story. It's about parents that are trying to raise dog children, and then they're just watching their dreams of having children slip away from them as their children regress into animals again.
Yeah, that, and also the gnomes. It's mostly just about getting into a fight at a garden club with your neighbor.
Yes,
and beating him to death with a small gnome.
But at the end of it, you'd have to. I feel like you'd have to change some of the endings to them to get the parents more involved in the denouement. But like, Stay Out of the Basement. Holy shit, that'd be a pretty intense story to tell from the perspective of the dad.
Even The Barking Ghost would be improved a lot. Just a book about watching a dog drag your kids into a hole in a shed.
And we somehow have to explain why the parents are just like, Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
let this
just
happen.
watch. No, let's see what the dog's thinking. They look like they know what they're
Holy
doing.
shit. We really got derailed on that one. Let's talk about covers. That's how bad we got derailed. I'm the one that was like, Travis, whoa, buddy. We need to get back on track here.
I was having a good time. Well, we got Tim Jacobus here. His cover, he's got the mask pretty close to how it's described in the book. The pointy ears, the single tooth, the droopy
I was pretty
old man
shocked
face.
that he even has the skull exposed too.
The little flappy
That was such
skull.
a gross part. When it's just
Yeah.
like he was touching, it's like, oh, I could feel where the skull's showing through.
And all of the spiders moving in and out.
Yes.
Now, I don't recall, I'm trying to figure out where in the story this part would have taken place, because it appears that he is trick-or-treating, but to my memory, he doesn't quite trick-or-treat, right?
No, it might be like, maybe he's going up to Carly Beth's house or something like that. Like, this is him just trying to get help.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. But either way, it's fine. It's,
Yeah. Honestly, in terms of what we get, this is 100% accurate for what we're going to get, which is a kid hobbling around like an old man.
he needs the cane here. This is what he needs.
He does
the cane
need a
would
cane,
have sealed
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Although I feel like this is also like you're looking through the peephole, because it looks a little like he's like the face is like coming right at you too. I think it's like you're looking through the peephole, and it's no, I actually really like it, especially as a sequel cover, like, because you set up from The Haunted Mask 1 with Carly Beth, and she's got the monster face on there. So this is kind of like, oh, this time, what are we going to get with this fucking weird-ass little monster kid? So I don't know. Actually, I'm kind of down for this cover. Not wildly excited, but I think it's a solid one.
Yeah, I mean, he always does great. Like, the background looks so good. Just the trees and stuff. He's so good with that shit. But anyway, then we move on to Dorman. Dorman, this is 2018 Dorman.
Oh,
and it's,
hello. What is... This is like they took Steven's idea to put a witch in there.
Yeah, it looks more like a witch. He's like, he tried to...
It's a very green witch.
He tried to emulate the Jacobus cover a little bit. And then switch it up. Like, now he's holding out the candy sack for the trick-or-treat, which, again, he doesn't trick-or-treat in the book.
No.
There's no spiders on the mask. He's got more than one tooth.
No. Yeah. It does have the rip in the skull so that you can see
that's...
the bone underneath.
There was no remark about there being glowing red eyes.
Yeah, they're definitely playing it up like, oh no. It's like the Carly Beth thing where she's turned evil also.
Yeah.
But
also, Dorman gave this kid, like, giant, professional baseball hindcatcher hands. He's got massive mitts.
I feel like... and tiny little legs. Look at his tiny little legs.
Tiny little legs and just haymakers for fists. Not my favorite, Brandon.
Yeah, I feel like that perspective is off on that
It's
one.
wild.
What's funny is on my ebook, when I open it, it starts off with a Jacobus cover, and then when it finally loads, it stays with the Dorman cover.
Aw.
And I don't know why it's been doing that, but whatever.
No thanks.
It means I get to see both covers.
Well, that's fair. The French, I'm excited for you to see this next one.
Oh, that's gross.
I thought it was Marcus Parks at first, one of our favorite podcasters.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a very 90s look. There's something about it that screams, like a 90s ad for not smoking. Like, smoking will make your face peel off, kids. Don't try it.
Yeah, and again, I do like how everyone is partially inspired by... Lily's wagging her tail in her sleep right now.
No.
I love how everyone's inspired by the flap of skin missing off the forehead, although in this case, it's just a gash that also has sutures on it. Mm-hmm. And then it looks like the spiders are actively building spider webs while the pictures, because it's like between the person's hands as they're putting on the mask, the spider has built a web.
Yes, and it's also weirdly photorealistic, but the hands seem strange, and I don't know, and it doesn't look like an old man. It looks like a 21-year-old boy, or a young man.
With acne. Yeah, it looks like bad acne.
Yeah, or spider bites, who knows. It
kind of looks a little bit like who's that feller that was in the new Star Wars movies as the bad the bad guy, Driver, Adam Driver.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
He kind of looks like Adam Driver a little bit.
Yeah, he's got that chin. Yeah, it's interesting, but I don't think it really fits the story appropriately. And when you look at the next one, because the French had a couple versions here, this second version, I'm not sure they read the book at all.
No, this is Le Retour du Masque Hanté. So it's like the Return of the Haunted Mask, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
is that
again spiders?
Is that supposed to be Carly Beth and
screaming at Steve?
Yeah, or is that Chuck's face at the end?
Also, do you see a little girl in a scary mask, or do you see a vase? What do you see there in that image? I see a vase. I did skip ahead a little bit and see the next one. What the fuck were they thinking for part 2 of Le Retour du Masque Hanté?
Yeah, and this is from this year. I guess it's a re-release from 2025. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know why they chose Andy Serkis to be on the cover. I don't know why, but it looks like him.
It's a weird... They just did the same thing again. It was already a mind-boggling decision. Also, all of their covers look like they're from the 70s. Like, they're so old and out of date, even for the 90s. And now we're back to, like, this just looks... Ugh.
It's strange.
I don't know. If you told me an AI generated this, I would not be surprised.
Same. Yeah. And for those of you at home, it is just... I'm assuming it's supposed to be... what's his name? Chuck? Steve? Steve
and Carly Beth, again, screaming at each other head to head.
Why?
Or whoever that other child is.
But
I'm just assuming it's Carly Beth because it was clearly a girl in the first picture.
I mean, they did make Steve look older like the old man mask would make him look. However, full mouth of teeth. Doesn't have that. And the hair is supposed to be like wispy and long and I think white.
Yeah.
Or yellow or something. So anyway. The French were way off, dude. But South Korea, the Koreans come in. Now, they have something a little special for you tonight, Dylan. Now, I don't think it matches...
What is this?
I don't think it matches the story at all, but it is fun to look at. It's, I think it's a mirror.
What is this? Why is this boy being touched? The first thing I saw was this boy being gently stroked.
Yeah.
Which is a strange decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like I don't know, like, this is his inner darkness. This is definitely setting up a different story where, like, Steve has this evil man inside of him or something. Like, he's been possessed by what looks like a bitchin' ghost. Like, I would want to... This ghost makes amazing metal music.
Oh, for sure.
Like, this ghost is like, guys, it's time to rock for the devil.
That's probably what Ozzy's corpse looks like right now.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Probably not with the red eyes that are lit from within by some eternal... Well, maybe
Prince of Darkness. But you never know. Yeah,
it's real fucking gnarly, bro. I like the ghost. I just don't get what this is supposed to be. This is like the tragic tale of a small child dealing with abuse at home and what it's turned him to on the inside.
Exactly.
That's what this looks like.
Precisely. Yeah. Which is why I'm going to have to give it to Jacobus on the merits of making a good cover for the book. I feel like he did the best.
Yes, he did.
Good job, Jakey. All right. How about a little bit of plot?
Nah.
Okay.
All right, kids. So... this is amazing because this is, I feel like, our first sequel that takes place from the point of view of characters who were in the first book, but not the stars of the last book. Like, these people are still tangentially related to the events in the first Haunted Mask Scares.
And it does a good job
Haunted Mask.
of compared to the other ones of tying the first and the second story together. Like, he didn't retcon much. It stays pretty true.
There's one retcon in there that pissed me off. That really made me fucking angry. But we'll get there. We'll fucking get there. So anyway, we're focusing this book on Steve Boswell, who sounds like he's a really boring old man. I don't know.
It sounds like a mayor.
Boswell?
Vote for Steve Boswell.
Definitely. He's in the 6th grade, and he says that first graders are animals because he's actually coaching a soccer team. But not because he enjoys coaching, but because much like Walter Matthau and Bad News Bears or Keanu Reeves in, what's that movie called now?
The Replacements?
Fuck. Hardball.
No,
not The Replacements. No, I'm talking about movies or the Estevez kid in Mighty Ducks. He has to coach the team because he's being punished. And specifically, he's being punished because he released a squirrel in the girls' locker room, and he got caught for it. But his buddy Chuck did not. And we don't really like Chuck. Chuck is kind of like the worst of these two bullies. I did like that these two were definitely the bullies at this school. Not like the really bad bullies, but not the good kids either. Like, Steve comes off as being a little bit dense.
Yeah.
And like, his solution later to problems are to break into a basement, and he's like, it's not bad. That's not a bad thing to do. And then his friend bails on him. Like, they're definitely the bullies. Because in the first book, they're constantly harassing Carly Beth, and so Carly Beth gets revenge against them by basically threatening to murder them while she's wearing the haunted mask, and they run off and they pee themselves, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Sidetracked again. So Steve's being punished for releasing a squirrel in the girls' locker room, not a girl into the squirrel's locker room.
Which is also fun.
The gym teacher gave him 2 choices. He's gone flay basketballs by mouth, which sounds like maybe, I don't know. Let's just not go there. We're just going to move on. Or coach the first graders with their soccer. And Steve is just like, I'll pick coaching. Which I feel like is what the gym teacher is trying to get him to do, because like one of them was physically impossible.
I would have blown up the basketballs.
Like, I don't think you can blow up basketballs by mouth.
You probably can't, but man, I have a first grader coaching 10 of them to run around and kick a ball. Ugh, I couldn't do it.
Steve picks the coaching. Chuck bails on it because he has an after-school job, and so he doesn't have to help out with this. Although he already said he didn't get caught, so I don't know why Chuck also had to come up with an excuse not to be there, but whatever. Chuck's after-school job is watching TV, and Steve is just like, oh man, I wish I'd thought of that. Chuck's a real smart fucker. But everyone's just like, oh, Steve and Chuck are probably our brothers because they look alike. And Steve's like, no, we're not. We don't hang out because we look alike, which is also stupid. Why would you hang out with someone
Is this not the second book where they've said that? Didn't the last book, the boy and the girl had to establish that they're not brother and sister? Just because they
those were robot twins.
That is true. So,
yeah.
That is true. But it seems like a theme where he's purposefully not using siblings.
But he says, no, we're not best friends because we look alike, because again, that's stupid, but because they make each other laugh, which is actually a great reason to have a friend. Steve says he sprays every day for it to rain, because if it rains, practice is canceled. But unfortunately, it's a fucking gorgeous October day. I do love that they name themselves the Walnut Avenue Hogs. And he's just like, these fucking pig children. They're so fucking awful. And so you've got one kid like grabs his whistle and blows it in his face. Another one jumps on his sneakers and starts picking fights with the other kids. That's Duck Benton, who I think actually shows up later. Marnie Rawson, she puts gum in his ear. At first he's just like, is she trying to kiss me? And she's like, no, she's putting gum in his ear. They don't even know how to play soccer. They just chase after each other and they kick each other in the ball. And I think he calls it kicking and running. Like, he's just like, they just kick and run, run and kick. They get into a fight with each other, and he's glad because there's only one bloody nose this practice, and it wasn't his, so he's real happy. But then, this is one of those times where you're just like, Jesus, if this happened in reality, this kid would be in a hospital. But the kids are all gathering a circle in the middle of the field, and they're just like, hey, Stevie! Oh shit, Steve! The guy who wrote a letter today, he's also a Steven.
Oh, look at that.
And the main character, Steve, holy fuck!
The way we planned it.
What the fuck? That's amazing. Anyway, so the kids are all, hey, Steve! Hey, come over here. We've got a soccer ball here. No, shut up. We got a soccer ball over here. Jeez, this stupid shit. We got a soccer ball. We bet you can't kick it. all the way to the end of the field, Steve. And Steve's just like, that's pretty fucking far, but all right, I'll give her a go. And so he runs up to it. He's just charging at the ball. He's lining up for a real big kick, and he kicks it as hard as he fucking can. And then he just screams in horror. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, fast forward, we have Steve limping home, hobbled, old limp leg Steve, and he limps past his buddy Chuck's house on the way through. Just a couple bullies, limps past Chuck. Chuck's like, hey, Steve, why you limping there, bud? What happened?
Yeah.
And Steve explains, so the kids, they tricked me into kicking a ball. Chuck's like, oh, that's crazy. Why you limping? It's because the ball was actually a rock, Chuck. It was a concrete painted soccer ball. It was not a ball. It was a rock. I kicked it so hard, Chuck, and it did not move. And now every bone in my leg is shattered. I'm sure of it.
I hope he kicked it with the side of his foot and not just
with
the toe. Because that's the only... He must have side kicked it.
Had to have.
Otherwise, he would have broken his foot and be dead.
He does say it's not broken, which is good for our plot because he never limps for the rest of the story.
That's true.
But his foot doesn't feel too good, and Steve's all about calling these kids animals, and he hates having to do this with the first graders, and Chuck's like, yeah, they seem like animals, all right. And Steve's like, man, I want to pay these kids back. You know, Chuck, how us bullies do. Once somebody gets on our bad side, we have no choice but to get them back. That's just bully code. Chuck's like, well, hell, Halloween's coming up. Why don't we scare the shit out of them? And Steve's like, man, I don't know. I mean, we're bullies and all, Chuck, but I don't know. They're kind of little. I don't want to be too mean to them. I mean, they're just little kids. But then he discovers that his backpack has been filled with feathers, and they've all been glued to his books. And there's feathers everywhere. His books are all sticky. Everything's all sticky. And he's like, you know what, Chuck? I think I do want revenge on these sumbitches. I think you're right. I think we should do something to them on Halloween. This has gone too far. I got a hurt leg and sticky books. It's a bad day. A few days later, he suffers through another rough practice. Andrew Foster headbutted him in the stomach, knocked the wind clean out of him. Old Marnie rose and she ripped the collar off of Steve's new winter coat. Just ripped the collar clean off like a crazed monkey. Steve, he's like, that's it. I'm getting them back. I can't stand them.
I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Like a spider monkey. And Chuck jokes with Steve. He's like, hey, how about you make them practice with that concrete ball? Wouldn't that be something? Or why don't you just let them even take turns being the ball? Just kick a bunch of kids, Steve. Steve's like, Chuck, you got great ideas, but none of them are going to fly, all right? I don't want to hurt the kids physically. Plus, that'll give me a rap sheet, and I'm too young. Let's just scare them, Chuck. And like they think about it, storm clouds gather, and they're walking home. They spot his classmates there, old Sabrina Mason and Carly Beth Caldwell. You might remember from the first book. Those were the targets of the bullying before, a year ago. And seeing Carly Beth gives Steve just the idea for how he might want to scare them little rapscallion first graders first chance he gets. Bum, bum, bum.
So Steve, at the start of chapter 3, he starts to call out to Carly Beth and Sabrina. He's just like, hey, Carly Breath. God damn it. That's what happened last time. Fucking Carly Breath. So Carly Breath and Sabrina, by the way, is the one that Carly fucking strangled in the first book while she was wearing the mask. Yeah, she was just like, just kidding, just getting into character. Probably broke the hyoid bone. So anyway, Chuck's just like, hey, knock that shit off. Pulls him behind a tree, and she's like, hey, let's sneak up on him and scare him. Because fuck Carly Beth. Remember how we used to scare the shit out of her every day for months and months and months on end? And she used to, because he's so scared and all the time. And Steve's like, yeah, those used to be the good days when we used to just torment Carly Beth. Like that time that we made her bite into a worm sandwich, which is the thing that happens at the beginning of the first book. It's so gross. That's the worst thing you can fucking do is fuck with someone's sandwich at lunchtime and put a worm in it. But then, But then Steve and Chuck, everything fucking changed for them because Carly Beth shows up and she's wearing this fucking weird ass mask that's super terrifying and lifelike.
Real.
And it seems like the eyes glowed and had this terrifying voice with it. And they got so fucking scared when they saw her. She didn't even say anything except like, I'm gonna eat you. Rah. And they just ran screaming away. They shat themselves 100%.
Sure.
They didn't mention it in the book, but like clearly Steve and Chuck were just like, we're gonna dump it. So Steve wants to talk to Carly Beth about the mask and where she got it so that he can get another one this year and scare the shit out of the first graders. But Chuck is like, no, we need to scare the fuck out of Carly Beth because fuck her. So they're hiding behind the hedges, following behind the girls. They're near the Carpenter mansion, which is gonna come up later. It's super haunted. Steve doesn't like it. He's scared by it. Carly Beth and Sabrina are getting closer. Steve notices that Carly Beth seems to be walking a bit weird, like she's just staring straight ahead. And Chuck is just like, oh man, we're gonna fucking get her. And Sabrina's just like, oh, well, we don't get scared. And Carly Beth's just like staring straight ahead. And then they jump out. Sabrina's just like, I'm scared. Carly Beth is just like, and then her head falls off.
What?
Or just falls right off and bounces on the grass. And Sabrina is just like, oh my God, that's even scarier. And she starts screaming even louder. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, man. We've been here before. Old Carly Beth's head fell clean off her shoulders, but it's the plaster dummy made by her mom. Is it weird that Carly Beth's still carrying around her own head a year later? Maybe. But she and Sabrina laugh hysterically.
They explain it.
A little bit. She and Sabrina, they laugh hysterically because they kind of have bully defense, unscarable when you drop a head. The bullies can't handle it. So Steve and Chuck are adequately fooled. And, of course, this fake head looks pretty real. Her mom's been working on it. She's gotten a lot better at sculpting them. All she does is make Carly heads because that's the kind of mom she is. She loves her daughter so much, she just makes her daughter's head over and over. It's normal. And it's fine. And Carly carries it around. Now, Chuck and Steve, they're like, oh, man, we weren't fooled, dude. We know that head. We know that old head gag. We've seen, I don't know why I gave them this accent, but it's the rest of the book. It's going to be this. Oh, man, shit. You couldn't get us. But they were clearly fooled. They, as Dylan alluded to, pooped themselves. Now, the girls teased them about how scared they looked. The bullies had it coming. Steve tries to change the subject. He's like, yeah, whatever. Don't mind the wet stain in the crotch of my pants. Listen, Carly, Beth, how about that scary mask you got last year? All right, now I'm willing to admit that's a pretty good mask. Now, it didn't scare me, but I think it would be good to scare the first graders with that I hate so much. And she's like, oh, what you talking about? I don't remember a mask. What do you mean? What mask? And he thinks that she's like being coy because she doesn't want to tell him the store so she can have the scariest mask honey hole to herself. Yeah. And no one else can get scary masks like Carly Beth had. Sabrina also, he's like, come on, Sabrina, you probably know. And Sabrina does the whole zippered lips maneuver, secret safe with her. Conversation continues and Carly Beth's like, listen, that mask was way too frightening. And it came alive. I don't really tell people this a lot of the time because they don't believe me, Steve, but it came alive. It clamped onto my head. It made me growl. It gave me orders. And Steve and Chuck are like, okay, weirdo. All right. So that makes sense. The girl carrying her own head around is making up weird stories. All right. I should have seen that coming. All right. And so Steve and Chuck are like, come on, Carly. Tell us or we're going to do something to the head. And she's like, no. So they steal it, and they play keep away. And they're tossing the head back and forth, and she can't grab her own little plaster.
Total bully behavior, also. Just more proof that they're the bullies.
Yeah.
Her mom made that head. It's a token of love.
It really is. It really is. They're playing keep away with it.
Or insanity.
And Carly Beth, she's jumping and trying to grab it, and she falls into the grass. The grass is a little wet. She gets all dirty, and Steve's like, listen, if you don't tell me where I can get a big old creepy mask to scare first graders with, I will punt this head. I will drop kick this head like it's 4th and 15 from my own end zone, and I'll kick it all the way over 3 streets, all right? You better tell me now. And Carly Beth's like, all right, fine. I bought it at this weird little party store near the school. It's got a back room, and it's got a bunch of ugly masks in it. And Steve's like, all right, thank you. Was that so hard? And hands her back her own head. And Sabrina's like, you guys are fucking creeps. And she's right. They were. Carly's like, listen, though, Steve, I wouldn't go to that store if I were you, because it's not going to be good. All right, you're going to come out with a head that you don't want, all right? Not this lovely head my mother gives me great head. But that store owner ain't going to give you no good head at all, Steve. Steve laughs. He ignores her warning because he's like, come on. You're crazy, Carly Beth. But then he says, too bad I didn't take her seriously. Too bad I didn't listen to her. It might have saved me from a night of endless horror. Bum, bum, bum!
So we cut to yet another day of first grader soccer practice. Is it every fucking day? Because I feel like first graders do not practice team sports every day. That's like a twice a week thing, right?
Seriously,
no parent is driving their kid every day to soccer practice. Anyway, back at soccer practice, Steve is attacked by Marnie. She's a piece of shit. She's attacking him. She stretches out his sweater. He's like, ah! He grabs her, throws her across the field, but then there's like 6 more of them on him. He's just like, no! He's throwing children off of him. He's wearing his nicest sweater because it's class photo day, and he didn't bring a backup sweatshirt or whatever, so whatever.
That's kind of on him, really, but...
Yeah, it kind of is. Prince Andrew and Duck start fighting. Steve tries to break it up, but then Marnie takes his fucking whistle, so he goes after Marnie. Then Steve slips, trips in the mud, ruins his sweater. And then the hogs... They're just like, let's play in the mud. We're hogs. Oink, oink, oink. And he's just real upset about this whole situation. It's disgusting. He hates his practice. It's the worst. But Chuck shows up. It's going to be pretty sweet because he's like, hey, we need to go to a party place together. That's the name of this store, by the way. It's the Party Place. Which,
was that what it was called in the last book? I couldn't remember.
I don't remember, but I felt like she just called it, it's that party place. But then R.L. Stein was like, that's the name too. It's the Party Place. But Steve needs to go home and change because he's covered in fucking mud. Goes home. His mom's just like, hey, Steve, what are you fucking doing? But he's just like, oh, runs in, runs out, grabs his allowance money, $25. Ugh. Sorry, just burped a little bit. Oh, God. Whew, a whole ham sandwich came up with that, too. Oh, God. You ever burp and it feels like a whole eyeball is just rolling around in your throat? So Steve and Chuck head to the store, and Steve's fantasizing about revenge once he gets the scariest mask ever. Bum, bum. Wait, really? Oh, yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Fantasizing about scaring first graders. We've all been there.
That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve and Chuck, they get to that party store only to find it closed and empty. Much like I remember the experience of Carly Beth last time. She got there just a little late and begged to go in and finally was able to get him in. But anyway.
This motherfucker does not know how to run a business. I'm not shocked it's closed.
I know. It's like pre-Halloween. You're running a party store. I mean, come on, man. That's when... It's not like... What is that? Halloween store? What's it called? That just props up every Halloween?
I think it's called... Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween. They know how to do it.
I just saw one's been set up.
Perfect.
Literally past one here. It's just insane. It's not even the end of August yet.
Their business model's crazy. They're like, we don't need to be open 12 months a year. We can be open 2 months a year and make gangbusters. Anyway, they look inside this closed store. They can see the shelves are bare. I mean, it's more than just closed. It looks like it is closed up. Tall metal shelf on its side, trash all over the floor and the counters. I mean, it's destitute. Now, Steve's pretty devastated because he was really pumped. He was going to get a mask like Carly Beth's from last Halloween. Big glowing eyes. It had moving fangs. I mean, he's like, my God, it was like the best thing I'd ever seen. Chuck, he tries to cheer him up. He's like, hey, listen, Steve, you could always go to a different store and get a shittier mask, or you could make your own mask. Right? You could do that. And Steve's like, get fucked, Chuck. That's not what I wanted, man. I wanted a Carly Beth's mask. I wanted these first graders to have therapy. Okay? They're not going to need therapy if I go up to them with a weird little paper mache mask. They're not going to care about that. Steve, he's on about it. He's like, these first graders are ruining my life. We have to do something about it. But there's nothing they can do because the store's closed. So they turn around to leave. But before they leave, Steve notices a door, a trap door, leading down to the basement of the store, open. It's open. Let's investigate. They look down, and he spots boxes down there in that dim basement. And he suspects, the masks and maybe some party supplies are stored there, not yet shipped away. Maybe they're down there and we can get a good peek at them. Now, Chuck, weirdly, a bully and ready to break rules, a little hesitant. Warns Steve, he's like, I don't know if we should go down there, but I don't know. It seems like it's not our place. We shouldn't go in there. We're not being asked in or anything. It was kind of a B&E situation. And Steve just starts sneaking down the steps anyway. He's ready to B&E. Let's do it. Bum, bum, bum.
So he's being careful. Basement stairs are slippery. He manages to get down, though. Get down with his bad self. He's like, hey, Chuck! Get the fuck down here. The door's open. Technically, we're not breaking in.
That's right.
Chuck's
we're just
stupid.
Eing.
Yeah. We're just entering. But Chuck is just like, no, I'm good. Oh, shit, there's a cop up here. And he sees some headlights and he gets spooked and he comes scurrying downstairs too. So now they're both in the basement. It's pretty big. Not well lit. Cobwebs everywhere. There's boxes everywhere. Steve hears wind hitting the trapdoor, but he's fine. He's not going to be spooked by a little bit of trapdoor bullshit. So he starts opening boxes, trying to find out where these masks are, but he just finds a box filled with party hats, paper cups. He's going through these boxes. He's wicked excited. Chuck is still being a little asshole about the whole situation. He's like, I don't know if I want to be here. I've got a real bad feeling, Steve. Trapdoor's still rattling. Steve is like, it's fine. We're going to be fine. But then Chuck opens a carton and he's just like, oh, fuck! Jesus Christ! Oh no! Oh my God! Bum bum bum!
I'm gonna read basically all of Chapter 8. It's so gross! Chunk groaned. What is? What? I demanded. I leaped over my carton to get to him. Check it out! A grin spread over Chuck's face as he pulled something out of the carton. I gasped as I saw an ugly purple face with broken teeth and a long, fat worm poking out of a hole in its cheek. You found him! I shrieked. Chuck let out a gleeful laugh. A whole carton of masks! And they're all totally gross! I grabbed the ugly mask from his hand and studied it. Hey, it feels warm. It was so cold down in that basement. Why did the mask feel warm? The worm bobbed out of the ugly face as if it were alive. I dropped the mask, plunged my hand into the carton, and pulled out another one. A disgusting pig face with thick gobs of green stuff dripping from its snout. That one looks like Carly Beth, Chuck joked.
Unnecessary.
Right? What did she ever do to you, Chuck? Besides scare the shit out of you and make you piss your pants. These are scarier than the masks Carly Beth had last year, I said. I pulled another one from the box. A furry animal face, sort of like a gorilla, except that it had two long pointed fangs sliding down past its chin. I dropped it and grabbed up another mask, then another, a hideous bald head with one eye hanging down by a thread and an arrow through the forehead. I tossed it to Chuck and pulled out another one. This is amazing, I cried happily. These will terrify those kids. How will I ever choose the best one? Chuck let out a disgusted groan and dropped the mask he was holding into the box. They feel like real skin. They're so warm. I didn't pay attention to him. I was busy digging down to the bottom of the carton. I wanted to check out each mask before I made my choice. I wanted the scariest, grossest mask in the box. I wanted a mask that would give those first graders more nightmares than they had given me. I pulled out a mask of a girl's face with a lizard's head poking out from her mouth. Nope, not scary enough. I pulled out a mask of a snarling wolf, its lips pulled back to show two jagged rows of pointed teeth. Nope, too wimpy. I pulled out an ugly mask of a leering old man, his mouth twisted in an evil grin, one long, crooked tooth stuck down over his lower lip. The mask had long, stringy yellow hair that drooped down over the old man's craggy forehead. I could see big black spiders climbing in the hair and in the ears. A chunk of forehead was missing, revealing a patch of gray skull underneath. Not bad, I thought. This one even smelled bad. I started to put it back when I heard a creaking sound again. Louder this time. The ceiling above my head groaned. I gasped. It really sounded like a footstep, someone walking around up there. But the store had appeared dark and empty. Chuck and I had both stared into the window for a long time. If anyone was hiding there in the darkness, we would have seen him. Another creak made me suck in a mouthful of air. I froze, listening hard. I could hear the steady drip, drip, drip of water across the dark basement. I could hear the trap door rattling outside, and I could hear my own shallow breathing. The ceiling squeaked. I swallowed hard. Look. It's an old building, I told myself. All old buildings squeak and creak, especially on a windy night. A scraping footstep made me gasp out loud. Chuck, did you hear that? Gripping the old man mask, I listened hard. Did you hear that? I whispered. Do you think someone else is in the building? Silence. Another scraping footstep. Chuck! I whispered. Hey, Chuck! My heart pounding, I turned to him. Chuck! He was gone. Bum, bum, bum.
Chuck? A stab of fear made my breath catch in my throat. I heard the hard thud of sneakers against concrete and turned to the stairs. In the dim light, I saw Chuck disappear out through the trap door. As soon as he reached the alley, he poked his head back in. Steve, get out! He called down in a loud whisper. Hurry, get out of there! Too late. A ceiling light flashed on. As I blinked against the bright light, I saw a man move quickly across the basement. He swept along the wall, pulled a long black cord, and the trapdoor slammed shut with a deafening clang. Oh! I uttered a weak... No, that's it. We're doing that. I uttered a weak cry as he turned angrily to me. I was trapped. Chuck got out, but I was trapped. Trapped in the basement with this guy. And what a weird-looking guy. To begin with, he wore a long black cape that swept behind him as he crossed the room to me. Is that a Halloween costume? I wondered. Does he wear a black cape all the time? Beneath the billowing cape, he wore a black suit, kind of old-fashioned looking. His shiny black hair, parted in the middle and slicked down with some kind of hair grease, and a pencil-thin black mustache that curled over his upper lip. As he stood over me, his black eyes glowed like two burning coals. Like vampire eyes, I thought. My whole body was shaking. I gripped the sides of the carton and tried to return his stare. Trapped, I thought, waiting for him to speak. Trapped with a vampire. That ain't no vampire. Crazy kid. Anyway, Steve is just like, hey, we were just trying to find masks for Halloween. We weren't stealing or anything. And the man's just like, the store's closed, and you can't have these masks. They're not for sale because they're too real. You know, too real.
Yeah.
Way too
These
real.
masks are too good to sell, kid.
Yeah. But Steve offers, he's like, hey, here's a handful of money from my pocket. It's about $25. And the man's still just like, no, I can't sell these masks. Get the fuck out of here. God, this happened last year, too. Thankfully, nothing terrible happened as a result of that. So a man's got to take Steve upstairs to call parents instead of the cops. And Steve is just like, oh, shit, that's just as bad. So he's about to get the fuck out of there. He says, you know what? I'm going to run for the trapdoor. That's my plan. So he counts to 3 in his old noggin and then he boosts it for the stairs. He's booking it. He's running. He tries to open that trapdoor, but it won't budge. Bum, bum, bum.
Classic. Classic move. Door's not going to budge. Not at the end of a chapter. Now, it'll budge at the beginning of a chapter every time. At the end of a chapter, no chance the door's going to budge. Now, just to let everybody know, $25 in 1995 is about $53 in today's money, so pretty good chunk of change. Now, Steve struggles to open that trap door, as Dylan said, as the caped man reaches the bottom of the stairs and he's swiping at Steve's ankles, and Steve kicks him away. Get off of me, you son of a bitch! And he manages, finally, he puts a little elbow grease in there, a little shoulder grease into it. Bam! Pushes that trap door open. Now he's in the alley. And he stumbles outside. He's looking for Chuck. No Chuck. So he's like, the man might be chasing me. I better hoof it. Fuck Chuck. So he runs. Then Chuck suddenly appears, and he's like, oh, there you are, you pussy. And then they run together through the dark streets on the way to Chuck's house. And they finally get there. They realize the man in the cape, the party place owner, didn't chase them, thank goodness. So Steve, they feel safe. He continues on to his own house. And he's pretty thrilled, pretty relieved with himself, pretty proud of himself, because amidst the fracas, amidst all the hoopla, he escaped and took a mask from the basement. Not even Chuck knows that he took a mask while they were down there. He kept it hidden under his sweatshirt, and he can feel that it's warm against his chest. Oh, weird. And then suddenly, the mask moves and bites his chest. startling him and causing him to scream. Bum, bum, bum.
So Steve is, he gets home. He's just like, it's just a mask. Masks can't bite you. That's crazy. But he keeps the mask under his sweatshirt, keeps it hidden. His dog, Spocky, he's getting real fucking obnoxious. He's just bark, 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 bark. His mom is just like, where the fuck were you? You missed dinner. And he's like, oh, I was helping Chuck with something. You know, his stepdad beats him, so he's real upset all the time. Whatever, bye. And so he rushes past his mom, goes up to his room, so he can finally take a look at the mask, because he doesn't even know what mask it is. We know what mask it is, because we saw on the cover of this book that it's the old man. But, yeah. So he's upstairs in his room. He gets to see that, oh shit, it's the old man mask. He's got the long, stringy, yellow-white hair. He's got one tooth, and he's like, oh, that's the tooth that must have stabbed me in the chest and made me think it was biting me. And it's got like a single brown wormhole in it. And the mouth is all twisted up, and the worms look like, or the lips look like worms, and the forehead skin's missing. There's spiders in the hair. And he's like, oh man, the spiders even feel soft and warm, and everything's warm, and it's so warm, and it's just warm, and it smells bad. He was excited also that it smelled bad, as if like that's a good thing. It's just like, you're going to be wearing that on your face. The fact that it also smells bad is not a plus, generally speaking. But, you know, that's me. That's me being practical and not a dumb bully kid. So, Steve, he wants to try it out. He practices his evil old man cackle. He's like, hey, I'm an evil old man. Hey. He's like, oh man, these hogs, they're going to be real scared of an oldster. You know how scary old people are to the youth. And so he's about to put the mask on. He's slowly pulling it on over his head. Very slowly pulling on the mask. Just about to pull it on over his head. I'm gonna put it on over his head. Just slowly pulling the scary, very warm mask over his head where it'll be trapped. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, God, we know what happens when you put on a haunted mask from this store. Let's hope he doesn't do it. He doesn't. Mom calls him to dinner. Steve's like, you know what? Pretty hungry. So he puts the mask down, doesn't put it over his head. He's like, I'll try it on later. And he shoves it in his sock drawer and covers it with socks because he's like, yeah, mom will come in here and see it. I better hide it in the sock drawer. He gets to the kitchen. We got some salad and some mac and cheese. He's eating. Mom's busy. She's, doing some other kitchen chores. Steve, he's excited about the mask. He kind of wants to like talk about it, and he thinks about telling his mom about it, but then he's like, nah, she'll ask too many questions.
You know how parents
are. I got it.
They just don't understand.
Like if my kid comes into the house with anything I didn't buy for her, I'm like, where did that come from?
She's also 1 year old, so that...
She's 6, and her friends do give her enough. Things. They trade stuff, and it's weird because it's like, where'd you get that? She's like, Beverly gave it to me. I'm like, did you steal it from Beverly? Did Beverly say it was okay for you to have it? Like, there's a lot of questions that follow.
Who names their kid Beverly? Also, that's like an old person's name. You don't name children old.
Dude, all the kids have. Even my kid has an old person name. There's Gretchens and Beverlys and Audreys. It's old people all day.
You know what? That is our generation decided. You know what? Esther needs to come back as a name. It's like, what is happening? Yeah, 100%. All my friends have named their children like,
Nadine
Beatrice.
And Marlene.
Yeah, it's just.
Ruth.
Yeah. And it's going to be, I'm going to be walking around as an old person, and all the young people are going to sound like my grandparents used to. That's fine. Anyway, you can go ahead. You can go ahead talking about the book.
Okay. Well, Steve, he's still excited about this mask that he has, and he's thinking about me. He's like, last Halloween, I was a hobo, which isn't out of, It
is honestly hilarious thinking about, like, how you would describe that nowadays. It's just like, because no one dresses up as hobos anymore, so it'd just be like, yeah, I'm dressed up as a homeless guy. It's just like, that's a great costume, kid.
That's rough.
Just be a homeless guy. I don't think you could have a child dressed up as a homeless person nowadays. That probably is frowned upon. I was dressed as a dentist when I was very, very young.
Only if you went as far as like, only if you can pull off the Christopher Lloyd look from Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, you'd have
you
to
can go
be,
that far
you would
with
actually have to be like that. It would have to be a 1920s
Creepy.
homeless hobo person. Even though Dennis the Menace did not take place. That was also the early 90s, so I don't know. But yeah, you can't just be like...
Scarier than sad.
Oh, trick or treat. I'm someone who suffers from a mental disability that doesn't allow me to get a job, and so unfortunately, society has left me behind.
He describes his outfit as sort of like a 1910s
tramp.
tramp vagabond, like patched up suit, charcoal on his face, a knapsack, that old classic look. But he's like, man, this Halloween's going to be exciting and different. I'm going to have this sweet mask. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to keep it a secret. I'm going to do my best to keep it a secret. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not even going to tell Chuck. You know what? In fact, I'm going to scare Chuck. Chuck left me in that fucking basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he fucking did.
Chuck pussed out. You know what? I'm going to test it out on Chuck. Look out, Chucky boy. I'm going to get you too, punk. Bum, bum, bum.
And so immediately he scares Chuck. No, he doesn't. He goes to another soccer practice. So that was kind of... I forgot that he had threatened to scare the shit out of Chuck, because I don't think that ever happens. But it's yet another pretty terrible soccer practice. I don't understand how you get a soccer ball drop kicked into you. Is that worse than a normal kicking of a soccer ball into your midsection? Or like...
I would think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Then they just straight up tackle him into the mud. So it's a moot point, I guess, because it's not even just like they throw a soccer ball. It is they take him down. And the whole time Steve is just like, oh, you little scamps, you will die in 3 days. So the whole time he just knows that he's going to scare the shit out of them. And he sets them up. He's going to fucking set him up. So at the end of the practice, he's covered in scratches and bruises. He's like missing a tooth. Both of his eyes are bloody. Like his eyes are bloody. It's insane. He's soaking wet. He's covered in mud. And he's like, all right, children, gather around, gather around. You know what would be great? Let's have a Halloween party. And a Halloween party means you guys meet me in front of the old Carpenter place, the Haunted Mansion, in your costumes, and I'm going to scare the fuck out of you. Yeah. And they're just like, I don't think we're all like 6. We can't just run off. And he's like, meet me in front of this old haunted house. And we're going to have so much fun together. We're going to have so much fun. And then they're just like, hey, what are you going to be dressed as? He's like, I'm going to be dressed as a hobo. And they're like, what, a homo? And he's just like, yeah. That's what I said. So...
That's how it would have really went in the 90s, though.
Yeah, 100%. So the kids leave. He's like, I'm going to scare the shit out of them. They're all going to die. Mwah. He runs home. Steve bursts in his room, rips open the sock drawer, only to discover that the mask has crawled out on its own, and it's completely gone. Bum, bum, bum.
What a different book that would have been if the mask... It would just be another living dummy type of story. Now the mask is just running around creating mischief.
But the mischief it creates is just like, did you leave your mask on the floor outside your room? Like, it never gets very far.
Steve, did you leave your mask in the bathroom? Why do you wear it in the bathroom so much? Steve, we need to talk about this.
I like the way I look in it. Steve frantically searches the sock drawer. And he's flipping socks over left and right, and no mask. Then he remembers, moved it to the back of my closet behind my rolled up sleeping bag so my mom wouldn't find it, because if she found it, she'd be asking questions. So he goes over there, he retrieves that old mask, the old man mask from the closet, calms down a little bit. Examines the mask closely. Man, it's all still there, dude. It's got that stringy yellow hair. It's got that craggy, scab-covered green skin. Brown lips with a wormhole in a tooth. Black spiders all in the ears. He's like, hell yeah, dude. This is the shit. He even pokes the wormhole a little bit, plays with it, squeezes the spiders. He's like, damn, this mask's so cool and so real. How do they do it, man? What kind of technology is this? He's like, man, I can't wait until Halloween to scare someone. I'm going to get Chuck, and I'm going to get him tonight, within the hour, before dinner time. Steve prepares to sneak into Chuck's house and scare the shit out of him. Yes, I'll do it, I decided. I practiced my old man chuckle. The scariest, most evil cackle I could do. Then I grasped the wrinkled neck of the mask. In both hands, stepping in front of the mirror, I raised the mask over my head and tugged it down. It slid easily over my hair. It felt soft and warm as I pulled it over my face. Down over my ears, over my cheeks, down, 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 until I felt the top of the mask settle onto my hair. I twisted it until I could see out of the narrow eye holes. Then I lowered my hands to my sides and stepped closer to the mirror to check myself out. So warm. I suddenly felt too warm. The rubbery mask pressed tightly against my cheeks and forehead. Warmer. Hey! I cried out as my face began to burn. So hot, so hard to breathe. Hey, what's happening to me? Bum, bum, bum.
Steve feels the mask tightening around his face. His cheeks burn and a sour, choking odor surrounds him. Yeah, so it's fucking doing the same thing as the other mask, but much quicker. So it's like tightening onto him. He keeps grabbing at it. Like, I kind of liked how quickly it glommed onto him. Because, like, I was reading it thinking, oh, this will be like Carly Beth. Like, I'll slowly... But no, the old man mask is just on board. So it sticks onto him. He doesn't like the smell of his own face anymore, which is sad. And he's also realizes that he's feeling weaker. Like, he's feeling old, which sucks. This mask sucks. Carly Beth felt like a monster and was destroying things. Steve just feels old. Just an old man. Just a creaky old man that's not even cute looking. He's just an ugly old man. He says, it's just snug. I'll just get it off. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Count to 10. Woo! He looks in the mirror and he's upset, which is funny because like it looks good. It looks like a great mask. Like him wearing it has made it look even better. And the spiders look like they're crawling around, which is weird. That's not how masks work. You don't put them on and then they come to life. And he says out loud, he's like, oh, it's just a mask. But then he hears this cackle. And he's like, that's not my cackle. It went from being hee to he's like, oh no. And then even if he tries to cover his mouth, it's still just so not a good day. But then a strong hand grabs onto his leg. Bum, bum, bum.
Steve gasps and whirls around like an old man. And through the mask's tight eye holes, he sees it's not a hand on his leg. It's teeth. It's dog teeth. It's his dog, Sparky. And then Steve's like, Sparky, cut it out. And his voice comes out as all dry and whispery. And Sparky backs away, kind of confused, like, what the fuck? And Steve clears his throat and tries again. Sparky! But his voice still sounds weak and raspy like his grandpa's. He's like, man, I've got an old man face and voice. And I feel all weak and tired. And he reaches, he's going to pet Sparky, but his arms feel all heavy and his knees crack as he bends down. And Sparky seems happy, but he's starting to get a little weird. Like, even Sparky's kind of tilting his head back and away, like, what the fuck's going on? And Steve's like, hey, Sparky, it's just me, Steve. The young boy that lives here and pets you from time to time. It's me, Steve, the boy. And he leans down to pick Sparky up, but Sparky's not having it. Sparky yips and runs across the living room barking. And he's like, get the fuck away from me, you creep. And Steve is like too out of breath to even follow him. He's like, okay, well, fine then. You go do you. And Sparky runs downstairs. He's still barking. And Steve's like, that's weird. Sparky's seen masks before. Why is he scared this time? I wonder if it's my voice. Or maybe it's the mask. I don't know. But then he notices, on the plus side, his face no longer burns. But the mask does feel pretty tightly fused to his face. And he's like, man, this isn't really what I was expecting. I think I'm going to take the mask off and scare Chuck later. I wasn't ready for what this was going to do. So he raises his hand. He's trying to find the bottom of the mask around the neck. his neck feels all wrinkled and dry, and he's trying to find the little seam there, and he's staring in the mirror. He's like, where the fuck does the mask end? And he sees wrinkled skin, all these brown patches on his skin, but he can't find the line. And he keeps checking. Now his hands are trembling because he's old and he can't find them. And he realizes there is no mask bottom. The mask skin and his skin are now one skin. And he's like, no! And he keeps trying to pull at the mask, and he gets desperate and he tugs at the cheeks, but that just hurts. And he starts pulling the hair, that just hurts. And he's slapping and tugging at it and scratching himself, and he's just hurting himself. And he's like, the eye holes! And he tries to wrench his fingers in between where the eyes touch the thing, and he just is poking his eyes now. He's not really getting into the mask.
Yeah.
And the mask's all covered in scabs and all the skin's rotting, but it's all his now. It's all his face, his skin. He looks like a, festering, decaying old man, and he's pretty scared now. This is one of the more maybe creepier times of the book, just the feeling of helplessness and being trapped in an old body forever. And, he's kind of at the end of his wits, presses his head against the mirror, and he's kind of talking to himself like, what can I do? What can I do? I don't want to be a grandpa. I'm only 12. And then suddenly he hears the front door slam, and he hears Mom's voice calling from downstairs, Steve! Steve! Come down! And Steve's like, oh shit, I can't let her see me like this. Mom, no! And she's like, never mind, I'll just come up to you. Bum, bum, bum. Mom's coming.
So he hears her coming up the stairs, and he's going to be getting real good at this as he gets more and more into his teenage years. But he hears his mom coming up the stairs, and he books it from his bed straight to his bedroom door, and he gets that door shut right in her face before she can realize that he's got his dingling out, and he's been looking at her Victoria's Secret catalog, and oh my god. Luckily, his mom is no dum-dum, and she's just like, I'm not walking into a 12-year-old boy's bedroom without asking to go in there first, because I don't want to see his ding-dong out with my Victoria's Secret catalog in his hand.
100%. Or JCPenney catalog also had some winners.
That's true. So she's just like, what's going on? Can I come in? And he's like, nothing, Mom. And she's, hey, I got you something special. Like, I want to show you the thing I got you. And he's like, no, Mom, I can't come out. I'm sorry. And she's like, are you okay? You sound like you're 100,000 years old. And Steve's, I just have a sore throat. It's like, well, I should check on you because I'm your mom. He's like, no, you stupid woman. I'm dying of sore throat. It's fine. I'm just going to go lie down. It's great. I'm sick. It's like, I got you cookies. They're black and white cookies. I thought this was R.L. Stein being like, I can't say Oreo. So he just like,
I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, he can drop, he's dropped like Coca-Cola before, I'm pretty sure, and all different kinds of brands. I don't know why he just couldn't throw Oreo.
But it's clear that they're not actually, because they're like fudge on one side and vanilla. They're white and black on each side. So they're not actually Oreos. But, and she's like, I drove 2 hours on my way to get these special cookies. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mom, but I can't eat cookies because I'm sick. And then she leaves and she says, I'll call you for dinner then. I hope you feel better. Fine. So Steve is just like, thank Christ, I managed to get away from my mom on that one, but how am I gonna get my fucking face off? Then he remembers Carly Beth. His face off. He remembers Carly Beth. She had the super spooky mask, and she said she got it off, and clearly she's not still wearing it. So talk to Carly Beth. So he gets on the phone that's, I guess, in his room. He has a phone in his room. Yeah,
I think so.
Phone or something. I don't know. So he calls Carly Beth, and her dad answers, and she's like, hello, who's there? And Steve said, hi, can I talk to your 12-year-old daughter, please? And Carly Beth's dad is like, I'm sorry, who is this old man who's calling for my daughter? Are you one of her teachers? He's like, no, I'm one of her friends. Your dad's like, I don't think I want you talking to my 12-year-old daughter. because you sound like
love
you're
this.
1,000. And Steve
I
just,
love this chapter. It's so real.
we're best friends. Just let me talk to her. I have to ask her something secret that I can't tell you. It's about how to take something off.
So Carly Beth is just like, no thank you, goodbye. And hangs up the phone. And Steve's just like, fuck! God damn it! Son of a bitch! God damn. And he sounds... I think he can actually hear the sound of spiders crawling through his head. Yeah. And he's just like, God damn it, this sucks. Bum, bum, bum.
I do think... I wonder if the whole bit about him calling Carly Beth and speaking to the dad hits as hard for kids as it does to us as adults. Because when I read that, I was like, that's the freakiest part of the book. Like an old man trying to call and talk to my daughter.
Hey,
that's a whole different kind of
imagine
horror.
if someone did call, like, who...
Mr. Travis, could I talk to your daughter, please?
What? No, she's 6.
No,
you
I'd
can't.
love to talk. She's my friend. She's my good friend. We've been best friends for years.
God damn. I would move. I would move the next day. We would be out. Either that, I would go on Amazon and buy all the Ring cameras until the stock was depleted. I'm like, we are bulletproofing
She's
this home.
my best and dearest friend, Travis.
And then it's Ian
Honey, is
Holm.
this Beverly? Does she sound like an old man?
Beverly has progeria, darling. You can't be that. That's really insensitive. Oh, that's not Beverly, though.
Yeah, she's got Beverly Button syndrome. She's okay. All right. Then Steve, he wakes up at his desk chair to his dad beating the shit out of his bedroom door, calling him to dinner. And Steve sits up, his back hurts, and he's fucking all tired and achy. He's like, I ain't hungry. I think I'm getting sick. And his dad's like, well, you better not get sick before Halloween. You'll miss trick-or-treating. And Steve's like, oh,
His parents
I'll be
have
fine.
weird priorities.
I know. I just need to get a good night's sleep, Pop. You know, even though deep down Steve's like, I think I'd rather die.
Yeah.
So his dad's like, I'll bring you some soup later, champ, and leaves. And so Steve's like, God damn, I can't even go anywhere in my house. I'm trapped here, staring at the phone. Should I try calling Carly Beth again? Nah, better not.
These kids, in every Goosebump book, if they fail at something once, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, I guess, to his point, if he calls, Carly Beth will just hear his voice and still be like, who are you? No.
Although if he quickly snuck in like,
I went to the mask shop.
she'd be like, oh, fuck.
Maybe. Yeah, true that.
Sucks to be you. Click. Then she'd hang up.
But he's just kind of sitting there, just thinking, pondering, scratching his spiders, rubbing his scabs, touching the bare spot on his head where it feels soft. And he can kind of feel a little bit of the exposed skull, just kind of playing with himself, as it were. And he's exhausted, so he climbs into bed, falls asleep, probably snores like the Dickens. And he wakes up on a bright, sunlit Halloween morning.
Man,
and at first he's like,
reading this whole book, by the way, made me super like, I wish it was Halloween. Like, I
know, right?
want.
'Tis the season.
It's kind of chilly where I am
cooled
right now.
down.
So
It cooled down.
yeah,
It feels good.
it's making me feel a little fallish anyway. So this whole book was just like, oh man, it'd be great if it was fall right now. Oh,
Today especially was a great day. I was feeling fall.
It was gorgeous. Yeah.
My daughter called it fall spring. That's what she called it, because it's like the beginning of fall. And I was like, that's actually... Because there is kind of a little between season between summer and fall we never talk about, but it's perfect. I sometimes call it football season. Now, here we go. Steve, he wakens. It's a beautiful Halloween morning, and at first he's...
Beautiful day.
At first he's like pretty relieved that it's Halloween. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm an old man, but I don't feel like an old man. And he touches his face and it feels normal, and his ears are normal, no spiders, and he runs his hand through his hair, and he's got regular hair, not stringy, weird old man hair.
Oh,
he doesn't.
Yay.
No exposed skull, super plus. And he's like, I'm myself again, awesome. He's like, I guess it was only a dream. It was a horrible nightmare. And he thinks back. He's like, there was the store, and then that basement, the man in the cape. That's dumb. The mask. the transformation, God, that was so stupid that I would even believe that's real. That's such a dream thing. All of it was fake. This is the happiest moment of my life. I'm okay. Oh my God. And he starts to leap out of bed, ready to celebrate. And then his eyes blink open.
Celebrate good time. Come on.
He realizes that now he's waking up. Bum, bum, bum.
So Steve wakes up for real, and he realizes, just like Travis and I do when we wake up every morning, that yes, we're still old. Now we're still covered in scabs, and there's green goo in our noses, and we have bushy, stringy hair where we didn't used to have bushy, stringy hair. It's like puberty, but worse.
It's so much worse.
Because there's no getting better. It just gets worse and worse and worse. So he staggers to his door and he finds a note taped to it. His parents left early to visit Aunt Helen, and they couldn't wake him up because they would need to beat the traffic. Got out of there. It's the 31st of October, so you know it's got a real heavy traffic day, heavy flow day, really. But they'll be home in time to help him with his hobo costume. Don't you worry. But Steve is just like, I'm too old for trick-or-treating now that I'm 150 years old. Hey, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. And he throws away the note. I did like this part. He's making his way downstairs. By the way, I go downstairs with a cane now because my knee bothers me.
Oh yeah,
so.
You got above.
Yeah, I'm basically I'm Steve now. I'm just Steve.
I say those Longfellers like yourself. You know the joints don't hold up on you guys. So.
Well, I'm better than have a couple stumpers like you. So he as he's going down the stairs, he's like, I just want a big old bowl of hot oatmeal and some hot milk. And then he's just like, oh my God, that's what old men want to eat. I want some orange juice and cornflakes. That's what the young eat with their youthful teeth. Oh, I can imagine trying to crunch down on that cornflake with
one tooth.
One tooth
that has a hole in it.
But he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if I'm 1,000 years old. I'm still going to have some fun. I'm still going to scare the goddamn first graders. So he's going to show his parents his costume, quote unquote. Then he's going to scare the first graders to the mansion. And then he's going to find Carly Beth and say, hey, help me get this face off my face. And he's like, that's a good plan. Good set of steps. And honestly, it is a pretty good, it does basically work out that way. More or less. Those events do happen in that order. Just maybe not in the way that he hoped it would. Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum.
So Steve hobbles downstairs to greet his parents.
Oh my goodness.
Mom gasps. She's like, oh my God. And she drops her bag, horrified at this face. Dad laughs, but Dad's probably one of those guys that laughs when he's scared. He's like, oh. And he's like, God damn, Steve, this fucking rules, brother.
Oh, yeah. He's faced with his own mortality. Can you imagine being a father and then you see your child coming down the stairs older than you've ever been? And it's just like, oh my God, I'm faced with my own mortality here.
Seems like it, yeah.
Mortality. I'm going to die someday.
Yeah, I don't know, he's the circle of life, you know?
Yeah.
Circle of life.
Terrifying costume for a parent to see their child as an old man.
But Dad's kind of giving it props. He's like, dude, that's fucking great. And Steve
I did like how much the dad was like, nice costume, good makeup work, good job.
He was super into it. Steve is wearing his patched hobo suit and using his grandpa's cane, which makes me wonder, how's Grandpa doing? He doesn't have a cane right now.
Oh, he's dead.
Is he? Good.
Or let's just say Grandpa forgets his cane all the time at their house, so they just keep a cane there for Grandpa because he's gonna lose it anyway. There you go. I spackled it so that Grandpa's still alive for you.
Thanks for the happy spackle.
You're welcome.
Steve, he lies to them because they're like, where'd you get that mask? That looks so good. And he's like, oh, I bought it at a party store, with my own money. And they're like, oh. Well, we like your old man voice. You been practicing it? Steve's like, oh, yeah, I've been practicing it. I'm getting pretty good. And he feels all weak and trembling. He's trying to hide how he really feels. And Mom's like, Steve, that mask looks like it's too hot. And Dad's like, it looks great, sport. Don't worry about it. Looks good. Mom's like, are you trick-or-treating tonight with Chuck? Steve's like, yeah, probably. And then I'm going to meet the soccer players and then get with Carly Beth and we're going to run around trick or treat. His parents are like, well, don't stay out too late, you rapscallion, and remember to remove the mask if it gets too uncomfortable. All right? And Steve's like, fuck, I wish. But then Steve goes on to say, maybe my favorite quote in a Goosebumps book to date. Only one thing kept me from breaking down and telling them the truth. Only one thing kept me from telling Mom and Dad that I was trapped inside this horrible mask, that it had turned me into a weak, ancient creature. Revenge. I could see the terrified expressions on the faces of my soccer team, and I could hear their howls of horror as they went running for their lives. That cheered me up and kept me going. It's a hell of a quote. Mom is like, okay, Steve, don't forget your little pumpkin trick-or-treat bag for when you go trick-or-treating. And Steve's like, thank you. And he plans to throw that away immediately because he's not going trick-or-treating. He's going to get the mask removed. So he throws away the trick-or-treat bag in a neighbor's trash can. He can't carry the bag and the cane, so he keeps going. He struggles walking. He's resting against a lamppost halfway down the street. And then on the way, this is where we get a little taste of what Carly Beth did in the first book. We get some random scares where these two little girls, there's a butterfly and a princess. They spot him. And the butterfly whispers to her friend, she's like, he's ugly. And the princess is like, yuck, he got green stuff in his nose. And Steve snarls, get out of my way! And they freak out, naturally, and their dad looks at him angrily and is like, the girls run away, now he has to go chase after the scared little girls. And then Steve cackles all evil like, feeling renewed from their fear. Steve's a real monster. But he reaches the Carpenter Mansion. Goddamn, I can't wait for the next chapter. He reaches the Carpenter Mansion. All dark, empty, castle-like, very fitting for a Halloween venture. He's under a street lamp. He sees the soccer team. They're gathered around. Just regular hog party. We got the whole first grade soccer team out there just hogging it up. They're in costumes, probably looking adorable. We got Power Rangers. We got Ninja Turtles out there. We got mummies. We got ghosts. We got beauty. And we got a beast. You know, pretty cool. And now he's ready. Like, this is his time. He can't wait. This is his big moment. He even says to himself, he's like, okay, guys, it's showtime. Bum, bum, bum.
I got my cane.
Oh, you do have a cane.
I wasn't lying. And
yeah.
Oh, it's one of these.
It's like a billy stick. You can whack a dude with that.
Oh, you fold it up. But then if I want to like suit up,
what? You just release it and it comes back. What?
I'm gonna read a bit of a chapter to you.
I loved this.
This was amazing.
I was trembling with excitement as I dragged myself up to them. I stepped into the light, my wormy lips twisted in a frightening sneer. I stared from one to another, giving them a chance to see my terrifying face, giving them a chance to see the spiders crawling through my hair, the wormhole in my tooth, the patch of skull poking up through my rotting scalp. They grew quiet. I could feel their eyes on me. I could sense their instant fear. I opened my mouth to let out a frightening growl that would send them running for their mommies. But Marnie Rawson, wearing a white bride's dress and veil, stepped up to me before I could get it out.
Can we help you, sir?
She asked.
Are you lost?
One of the ghosts asked.
Do you need directions? Can we get you somewhere?
No, this wasn't going right. This wasn't going the way I'd planned, the way I dreamed. Marnie took my arm.
Which way were you headed, sir? We'll walk with you. It's kind of scary night to be walking around a strange neighborhood.
The others pushed in closer, trying to be helpful to an old man they weren't the least bit scared of. No! I howled in protest. I'm the ghost of the Carpenter Mansion. I've come to pay you back for trespassing on my front yard. I tried to shriek, but my voice came out in a weak whisper. I don't think they heard a word I uttered. I've got to scare them, I told myself. I've got to.
Jesus Christ. Do you have to watch the entire time, Pam? She's just in the kitchen, watching me be an old man, terrifying these children.
I raised both hands together in the air as if I planned to strangle them all. My cane flew out of my grasp. I lost my balance and tottered over backward. Oh! I let out a groan as I hit the sidewalk sitting up. They all cried out, but not in fear. They cried out because they were worried about me. Helping hands reached down to pull me to my feet.
Are you okay? Here's your cane.
I recognized Duck Benton's scratchy voice. I heard murmurs of sympathy.
Poor old guy.
Somebody whispered.
Are you hurt? Can we get you some help?
No. They weren't terrified. They weren't the tiniest bit afraid. Why?
So, Steve's a little upset.
He's exhausted. He needs to get to Carly Beth. So he accepts the help of the hogs to send help him to Carly Beth's because he realizes he's too feeble. So
I love it.
Marnie takes one arm and a mummy takes the other and they guide him down the sidewalk. And Steve's real upset, but they get him most of the way to Carly Beth's driveway and they scatter. And as they leave, to add insult to injury, Duck and Marnie are like,
oh, I bet Steve was too much of a chicken and scare us on Halloween because he didn't show up. Steve probably pissed himself, that little shithead. Ah, Steve, I hope he fucking bites the curb later.
So, Marnie and Duck just walk off, and Steve, not a good night, but he sees Carly Beth and Sabrina arriving at the house, which is good, because I think there was a moment where he's just like, if I knock on the door, the dad's just gonna be like, okay, this is worse than I imagined. It's a tiny little dwarf of an old man who's apparently best friends with my daughter.
Can I hang out with your daughter now?
Are you one of those garden gnomes I've heard about, boy?
We're mischief gnomes. We're gonna call mischief. So this is the part where I got super fucking mad, though. Fucking livid. So angry.
Okay.
Carly Beth is in her
All
duck
right.
costume, and Sabrina's a silver superhero. Who gives a shit? I don't care about Sabrina. I care about Carly Beth because what Steve says is that Carly Beth was wearing her duck costume, which she wears every year. No! No. Carly Beth's mom made her that costume last year, and she never wore it.
That's right.
So, fuck you, R.L. Stein.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Real mad. And it ended up being her little brother that wore the costume numerous times throughout the story, quacking at her and scaring her while he's a duck, which is also funny.
By the way, doesn't he end the last book wearing her mask?
Yeah.
But we never get a follow-up.
Yeah, but that mask...
I guess Carly Beth just helped him get it off.
Yeah, because that mask took a little bit of extra time to peel off, so... The brother does get a mention, too, actually. I forget, like, one of the little kids knows Carly Beth's brother, I think. Oh, yeah, because I think he says Marnie or knew where Carly Beth lived because they knew her brother. So they did.
Brother.
He even gets a little side mention. Steve tries calling out to Carly Beth, but he's too weak and elderly. But Carly Beth and Sabrina see him, and they're just like, "Who are you? Who is this weird old man who's following us?" And Steve's just like, "Hey, it's me, Steve." And Carly Beth's, "You called me earlier." And Steve's like, "Of course I did, but it's me, it's Steve." But Carly Beth isn't having it. She's like, "It's some old pervert. My dad warned me about people like you. Get out of here, or I'll get my dad, or my mom will make a head out of you. Get out of here." And they leave Steve alone in the driveway, and he realizes he's fucked, because she's literally the only person that could have helped him. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. And Steve, he's desperate. He's like, "Come on, Carly Beth, it's me, Steve. Steve Boswell, your old bully. Remember last year you scared the shit out of me? That's me, and now Steve." And Carly Beth, now I'm fucking doing it. Carly Beth and Sabrina. That's what he wanted all along. They stop in the porch light, and they turn back toward him. They're like, "Wait a minute. Hold on a second." And cautiously, they approach old man Steve. And Sabrina's like, "Is that a mask?" Steve's like, "Yes, of course it's a mask. Jesus Christ, Sabrina, are you fucking stupid?" Then he calms down. He's like, "Listen, I need help. I can explain." And then Carly Beth is like, "Oh my God, Steve, you went to the party store. I told you not to do that. I warned you specifically. He's like, I know, I didn't listen. Look at my face. I didn't listen very clearly. But he's like, Carly Beth, come on now. The mask won't come off. I know you know how to get it off. It's turned me into an old man. And she shakes her head sadly and kind of stares at him. She doesn't say a word for a second. And Steve's like, come on, Carly Beth, you gotta help me. I don't want to be an old man forever. And she sighs and says, Steven, I don't think I can. Bum, bum, bum.
So Steve is like, come on, man. Bro, that's cold-blooded, bro. And Carly Beth is like, I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm saying I literally do not think there's shit we can do to help you. So, sucks to be you. Boop, 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 boop. And Steve he's still, he's like, oh my God, I'm still freaking out about this. My cane will not, hold on. It doesn't stand on its own. It needs a person to hold it up to. Oh shit, I just broke something in Pam's. It's fine. Oh fuck. It's okay. She didn't want that 100,000 subscribers plaque anyway. So Carly Beth's just like, listen, it's not a mask. It's a fake. Come inside and we'll all have a cup of joe and talk about this together. So they go into Carly Beth's house. And Carly Beth's like, listen, it's not a mask, it's a face. The guy who runs that store is a fucking weird-ass motherfucker and made a bunch of faces called the Unloved, and they're actually really want to be loved, so they glue themselves onto people's faces if you get too close to them. So it's really fucked up. But that's what happened to you, so Merry Christmas. Steve is like, that's horrifying. That makes it worse. I don't want this. Help. Get it off. And so she's like, okay, so what happened last year was it stuck to my face. And the only way I could get rid of it was with a symbol of love. And then I used one of my mom's many paper mache heads of my own face and wore it. And then the mask came off. And Steve was like, fuck yeah, give me one of those heads. And Carly Beth's like, no, it has to be love for you. It can't be my mom's love for me. It needs to be love for you to get it off your head. Steve's like, no. I don't understand how that works. Give me one of your mom's heads of your heads. And Carly Beth is like, you're really fucking stupid.
Tell your mom to give me head now.
Steve's wigging out. And meanwhile, I think Carly Beth even says, like, I don't even know if that'll work for your mask. They might all be different.
Yeah.
But you need to find your own symbol of love. And then suddenly, Steve is like, I have an amazing idea. Bum, bum, bum. We were just rushing towards the end.
But he can't act on it too quickly because he's old. And so he's like, I've got an idea. And then he takes forever to get up off the couch. And he tells Carly Beth, he's like, I think I know of a symbol of love at my house. And she's like, all right, well, I'll take you over there. And Sabrina will stay behind. She can greet the trick-or-treaters and run the party. No big deal. Which is great. Carly Beth showing some real, she's really trying to help this guy out. Abandons her own Halloween party to help him out. And so they go on towards Steve's house. His parents are still up. Lights are on. She's like, Steve, does your parents know about the mask? And he's like, no, they just think it's a sweet costume. And so he's like, okay. So they go inside. She knows not to mention it. The dog all over him. Carly Beth has to peel the dog off of him because he's too weak to do it. His mom shows up. Steve's mom shows up and greets him. And she's like, she's Carly Beth there. She's wondered like why the kids are even back. And she makes the comment. She's like, looking at Carly Beth, isn't his mask crazy? And Carly Beth is like, you mean he's wearing a mask? And they all laugh.
I love that like, Carly Beth immediately ingratiates herself with Steve's mom, and they're just like, Steve's such a little shit, isn't he? And Steve's just like, it's Mom, wonderful. This isn't. Fuck you,
Mom. Come on. So Mom's like, why are you guys back so soon? I thought you were out being party animals and trick or treating. And Steve's like, well, I came back for the black and white cookies you bought me. And because he thinks that because they were bought out of love, this could be a symbol of love. This will cure the mask situation. And his mom's like, why do you need your trick or treating? You are literally getting candy hurled at you by strangers. Why would you come all the way home to get some cookies? And Carly Beth covers for him. She's like, Steve had a strong craving. He's been talking about them nonstop, and then I wanted them, and we talked about sharing them at the party, and we had a big hankering, so we thought we'd come back over here and get them. And Mom's like, Well, sorry to say, the cookies are gone. Sparky found the box earlier, and he ate them all. And in fact, your dog's probably going to die of diarrhea soon. So, bum, there. 2 scary things just happened.
Once we were at my grandparents' house for Christmas, and we had put the dog in the garage. Garage was heated and stuff. It's like, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was attached to the house. We went out to eat. We came back. The dog had a bit of separation anxiety, so she burrowed her way through the door with her teeth. Just chewed out a hole in the door. Ran up to my parents' bedroom and ate. You know those how they used to? I mean, they probably still do. Still like things of Snicker bar or like Kit Kats, like a big long ribbon of Kit. She ate all of them.
Yeah. Yikes, dude.
She was fine. It was fucking weird. Anyway, so Steve is just rip shit about Sparky eating all the cookies because he's like, "You ate my love. I'm trapped in this old man's body forever." And Sparky's just like,
"You ate my love."
Sparky's just like, I love you, Steve," and is just rubbing up against him and wanting pets. And then Steve's mom leaves and she's like, "Peace out, Boy Scouts." Then Carly Beth is just like, "Dipshit, your dog loves you." And Steve's like, "So?" He's like, "A symbol of love." And like, "So?" It's like, your dog, pick up your dog. He's like, "It ate my cookies. I don't care. I hope it dies. Oh, my dog dies."
He's back to being a piece of shit bully there for a second where he's all selfish.
But like Carly Beth's just like,
Only
"No,
wants revenge.
Sparky is your true symbol of love." And so Steve is like, "All right, fine. I'll fucking touch this dog." And he tries to get at Sparky, and Sparky runs away because, of course, he can't just immediately get it. And Steve's like, "No, come back. I can't chase you. No." And Sparky's doing that thing, like, "You want to get me?" And Steve's just, "No, I'm too old." And he stumbles and falls. And he's like, "Please, Sparky, I'm so old and feeble." And then Sparky's just like, "Yay." And he runs over and Steve grabs him and he's holding him tight. And Carly Beth's, hold him tight. Love that dog like you've loved anything else in your entire life. Love that dog. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, after a minute or so, Sparky gets tired of being squeezed by an old man and jumps out of Steve's arms and runs into the den. And Steve's like, "All right." He tugs at the mask and stays on. Nothing had changed there. He looks pretty dejected. Even Carly Beth's a little disappointed. She puts her hand gently on Steve's shoulder and she's like, "Hey, listen, bud. Each mask might be different. Sorry about that." And Steve's like, "God damn it." But then he gets an idea. The man in the cape, he would know what to do. And he's probably still lurking around down in his basement. It is Halloween after all. So Carly Beth's like, "You know what? That is a good idea. He helped me last Halloween. He taught me what to do."
Fuck you, Carly.
Well,
He did not.
He beat around the bush until she figured it out. So she's like, "Yeah, maybe let's head on over there." And then Steve told her, he's like, "Oh, by the way, the store actually went out of business, so he might not actually be there." But they would go anyway, because what else are they going to do? So Carly Beth helps him down the street, practically carrying him, because now he's super weak and old. Streets are empty. The trick-or-treat is pretty much done. Most of the lights are going out. Some dogs follow them there for a second, but Steve snaps out, "Get away from me!" And then the dogs whimper. They run away. They reached the row of shops there, and the empty party store says out of business. Carly Beth runs up, starts pounding on the door. "Help, help, 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 help." No one answers. We all expected that. And then Steve goes over to the alley, and he's like, "Over here's where that trap door to the basement was. This is where we eat. We didn't have to B&E because it was unlocked there." And he's like, "That's where all the masks were." And she's like, "Well, maybe we could find help if we get inside. Maybe he greeted you when you were in there last time. Maybe if we go down there again, we'll attract him back down there. I mean, I don't know." So she pulled on the door a couple times. Finally, it swings open. They go down to the basement, into the heavy darkness, ready to encounter the weirdest little store owner the world's ever seen. Bum, bum, bum.
Basement's super quiet. You hear some water dripping. There's still cartons everywhere, which is super exciting. Steve pops open the closest carton. He finds the monster masks. But Carly Beth's just like, "We don't need more fucking masks, dipshit." So they keep looking. They don't know what they're looking for, but Carly Beth opens another box. She finds it's all like the bodysuit parts of costumes. Like it's a jumpsuit with a tail. And Steve is, again, not helpful, Carly Beth. I don't need a full costume. I already have an amazing costume. How are we going to get this mask off my face? Well, then Carly Beth finds a shiny black tuxedo suit thing and holds it up. And Steve's entire face starts tingling. And Carly Beth is like, oh, God, this tuxedo suit is covered in spiders just like your mask is. And the mask starts itching all over Steve's face. And Steve's getting a little weirded out. And she holds the suit up next to him, even though he's like freaking out because he's like, this is awful. He's crying. His snot is probably running out of his noses. He's scratching at himself because he's itchy and hot and itchy and bum.
It's burning hot, I shrieked. Ow! What's happening? I grabbed the sides of my face, trying to soothe away the burning pain. As I gripped my cheeks, the face began to slide under my hands. I felt it begin to rise, up. I pulled my hands away as the old man's head slid over my head, lifted off, floated up. Cool air greeted my cheeks. I took a deep breath of the cold, fresh air. The craggy old head hovered above me for a moment. Then it floated toward the shiny black suit in Carly Beth's hand. The head floated down onto the collar of the suit. Carly Beth let out a startled cry as the suit's arms thrashed out. The trouser legs kicked. The suit twitched and squirmed as if trying to break free. Carly Beth let go of it and jumped back. A smile spread over the ugly old face. The suit's legs lowered themselves to the floor. The old man performed a little dance, arms flapping, trouser legs hopping. And then he turned away from us, the head attached to the suit, the trouser legs bent at the knees. He shuffled toward the steps. Carly Beth and I both cried out in shock as the old man climbed up the steps and disappeared out the trap door. We stood there, eyes bulging, mouths wide open. We stared at the opening at the top of the stairs, stared in silence, stared in amazement. And then we both began to laugh. We fell on each other, laughing and laughing until the tears rolled down our cheeks. I laughed louder and harder than I had ever laughed because I was laughing in my voice, laughing with my face, my real face. The old man face found its body and escaped. And now I was me again. This had been the best Halloween ever. I had never been so happy in all my life just to have things normal. Carly Beth and I danced down the street as we made our way home. We sang at the top of our lungs, sang and twirled around each other, and danced and strutted down the middle of the street. We were both so happy. We were half a block from my house when the creature leaped out from behind a hedge. It opened its jaws in a broken-toothed roar. Carly Beth and I grabbed each other and uttered shrill cries of terror. The creature had bright purple skin that glowed in the light from the street lamp, fiery red eyes, a mouth full of broken, rotting teeth, and a fat brown worm poking out from the middle of its cheek. Huh? I stared at the worm as it bobbed from the creature's skin, stared at the frightening purple face, and recognized it. "Chuck?" I cried. He let out a hoarse laugh from behind the mask. "I got you," he bellowed. "I got both of you. You should have seen the looks on your faces." "Chuck!" "I've been waiting here, waiting to surprise you," he rasped. The disgusting worm bobbed up and down in his cheek as he talked. "You didn't see me grab this mask when I ran out of that store basement," he growled. "I kept it a secret. I wanted to give you a good scare." "You scared me to death," Carly Beth admitted, giving him a playful shove. "Now take off the mask and let's go to my house." I have a problem," Chuck replied, lowering his voice. "Problem?" Chuck nodded. "I'm having a little trouble getting this mask off. You think you guys could help me?" Bum-ba-da-dum-dum, bum-bum. Another book in the books.
That just seemed to end.
It did. It did just seem to end. I don't dislike the ending. I think it could be been a lot worse. It did leave me a little unfulfilled for some reason, and I don't know why.
Because, well, if we think about what happened with Carly scared the kids on the street. She scared Steve and Chuck. She nearly murdered her best friend. She scared another. She, terrified those old people. She threw, an apple against the wall. She had way more time in the mask, and the mask did some really upsetting things with Carly. Whereas, Steve was barely in the mask, I feel like. He was in it for, like 5 chapters, and then over the course of them, he was just humiliated by children. That's it.
Yeah. It was more about him being trapped than it was about the mask being scary, which I do think is a fun twist. I think it would be tough for them to like make it scary and do Carly Beth's whole thing again. I think it was fun to flip it on its head and like make the bully suffer. He doesn't get his revenge, and there were some really fun parts there.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed a little bit more around why the mask and the suit needed to come together to walk off.
Yeah. Or some, I don't know.
I needed a little bit of lore from Party Store Guy.
It felt like it was missing something, like a middle act or something. It just felt like it was missing a chunk of the story to make it, because it was funny. There were some really great funny moments. The whole part with the kids, or the first graders that are just helping him because they think he's a little.
I love that.
That was one of my favorite parts in any Goosebumps book. I like that the dreams showed up.
I think I love the entire book except the ending.
Yeah.
I really do think I was on board up until the end. I really thought it was strong all the way through.
Yeah, it just felt like, I don't know, it felt like it ended too soon. Like we should have had another couple of chapters, or like the mask could have been like, no, I'm not going back to my body. No, I've got both of you. And then Chuck shows up and scares off the guy. Like, oh yeah, that could have been a good way to bring it in, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. But
Chuck, yeah. Could have done something.
I feel like it was very solid. It just left something on the table, and I don't know exactly what it was. And it also felt like a more comedy version of The Haunted Mask.
Yeah, I did like that it was a pretty direct follow-up. I feel like a lot of times maybe R.L. Stine took for granted that his audiences would care a lot about how tightly the sequels were attached, and in this one he took some care, minus the duck suit fiasco, to actually make them connect a little bit more. I mean, the Monster Bloods of course usually do, but to follow a different character, I thought it did pretty well. I don't know, it was missing something, but I still liked it, and in fact I liked it enough to still give it 5 out of 7 spiders crawling in and out of the ears. I liked it that much.
I would probably do like 4 out of 7 holes in teeth.
Okay.
That's
pretty good. Yeah. Ain't nobody mad about that. That's pretty good.
It's a solid. Like I said, it's solid. It's just it's lacking something that'll make it like a classic. You know, it was a nice kind of follow up.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a nice companion piece to the first Haunted Mask. It was nice to see Sabrina and Carly Beth again, and that Sabrina and them are still friends, even though Carly Beth again nearly choked out Sabrina. So it was nice to see everyone back again.
That is true. That is true. All right. Well, that was our rating. And I would love to know how other folks feel about it. I don't know. I think you and I both are a bit on the outer edges of the zeitgeist of the Goosebumps fandom, so I don't really know how these are respected amongst diehards, but I'd be interested to know how close or far away we are from the general feel, because this one left me a little bit. This is the first one where I got to the end of it and I was like, I liked it, but did I love it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know. It was missing something.
This was almost, I kind of wanted more. You know, like usually when I feel this kind of ambivalent about a book, it's usually because it's like, man, it kind of farted to bed on that last couple of chapters. But this one was just, it didn't run out of steam. It still had steam, and it didn't use it all up. Is almost what it felt like. But
I feel like if he could have, I mean, I know he had like a limit, but if he could have done 150 pages as opposed to his usual 120-ish, I bet we could have got a better ending out of it. Could have nudged it in a better direction. But hey, we come together with a passing grade at the end of the day. We got a little bit of trivia. This is the first Goosebumps sequel book in which a former antagonist from the prior book becomes the protagonist. I was thinking the other day it would be fun if there was a Monster Blood with Conan as the protagonist. That could be fun. Which is basically kind of what this was. The book does contradict its own sequel, The Scream of the Haunted Mask, which I didn't know existed until I read this trivia. It's 2008 from the Horrorland series. Both books take place, it says they take place the year after the events of the Haunted Mask. So it's almost like The Scream of the Haunted Mask retcons Haunted Mask 2, which I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate that. All right, I like when my sequels make sense in the timeline. When Steve gets drenched in mud by his soccer team, Chuck tells him he looks just like a mud monster. This is likely a reference to the creatures featured in the You Can't Scare Me, the 15th Goosebumps book. Curiously, though, Chuck says, "You look like mud monster," rather than a mud monster, and I think that's just the accent that I gave Chuck coming through. I think R.L. Stine also wrote him with a bit of a southern drawl sometimes. Yeah. Us southerners, we forget the words. It's true. We speak more efficiently. Skip words, say more. It's what we always say.
That's one way of thinking about it. Yeah, y'all are much more efficient with your mannerisms.
That's right. That's right. Why say more words when few words do good? Whether or not we get to the Horrorland series, that might be the last time that we hang out with Carly Beth. And I will say this, I'll add this on at the end. I like Carly Beth's character. She's one of my favorite Goosebumps kids.
Truth.
Because in the first book, you get her, you know, she goes crazy on a family. She strangles a friend. And then in this book, she's like surprisingly very helpful to poor Steve here and supportive. And there's just something that warms my heart when kids are nice to each other. I don't know what it is. It's just the time we live in. It's just too rare.
I mean, she was always a good kid. It was just she was a bit of a scaredy cat, and so she dealt with that. And like she's I like that when we first get introduced to her again, instead of her getting scared by Steve and Chuck, she and Sabrina turn it back on him.
Mm-hmm. You know, when we do our series about Goosebumps kids all grown up,
someone was bothering the dog.
When we do our series of Goosebumps kids all grown up, do you think as an adult Carly Beth is still carrying around a paper mache version of her own head?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Carly Beth is a child psychologist, and in her office is one of her paper mache heads.
Okay. I imagine the same. I imagine. What do you think Steve's doing?
Like, when you were saying, like, you know something, Carly Beth, I was like, he's going to ask something about Carly Beth's future. And in my head, I just immediately saw her office as a child psychologist. And, like, definitely in the kids.
Do you think
why do you have your own head?
Do you think it's a spectrum of her own heads that her mom made over the years? Just like,
no, just the one in her office.
The one?
But, like, she definitely has too many in her home.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Like, because there'll be a scene where, like, you know, one of her patients is being attacked by monsters or some shit. And so she takes them back to her place to protect them. And they're like, why do you have so many of your own head? And she's like, don't ask. My mom just loves me. Wink.
Wink. That's good.
Wink at the camera.
That's good. Who plays her? Meg Ryan, probably? Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Shit, what's her name? What is her name? Well, let's do this for 20 minutes.
Alicia Silverstone.
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I could definitely see it. Folks, if you'd like, please do email the show. We got goosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. Email us, please. Be like Steven. He did it. He did it the right way. He emailed us. It was entertaining. It was fun. We got goosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. Be like Steven. Be a cool guy.
You can also find us on Blue Sky at Say Cheese and Pod. You can also, even if you wanted to, support the show on Patreon at www.patreon.com/polykill. There's also some other shows.
Yeah, we got some good shows.
Support.
Got some good shows on there. We got Point Drink Adventure. We've got Polykill, Drunk Friend, Split Up, Uncle Doug's DVD Bin, Indie Quest, and I've probably forgotten one, but I tried my best. Tales of the Lesser Medium.
Tales of the Lesser Medium is the one that you're forgetting, yeah.
Those are all really good, and we encourage, if you discovered this podcast and you did not know that any of those other podcasts existed, you'll probably like them because it's pretty much the same brand of humor and fun all the way through. So, and quality. I'll say we're all pretty good.
Plus, Travis is on like 7 of them, so.
I left that part out on purpose, but yeah, if you're not too annoyed by me, you're...
If you don't like Trav, Split Up and Point and Drink Adventure and Indie Quest.
That's all you got.
Are all Trav free.
Yes, and you're welcome. Dylan, I'm excited about the next book. I hear it's decent.
What? Sorry, that was just like, I heard it's not terrible. All right, okay. I'm also excited now.
Yay.
I don't like the name of the house in this because I already get confused by House on Haunted Hill and The Haunting of Hill House, which are two entirely separate works, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like Amity Beach and Amityville.
Yeah, I don't need it. Everyone knows about Hill House. It's the biggest tourist attraction in town. That's because it's haunted. Haunted by the ghost of a 13-year-old boy. A boy with no head. Sorry. A boy with no head. This fall on Fox. Dave can't seem to get ahead in 5th grade. Okay. Dwayne and Stephanie love Hill House. It's dark and creepy and totally scary. Still, they've never actually seen the ghost. Until the night they decide to go on a search. A search for his head. Thursdays at 9.